A lot of agents, they mean well, but they don't have the money. Just like me, when I was starting out, like I had to take that risk and pay my videographer on a credit card. I didn't have the money, but I knew it was important. I knew it was gonna work out. I had 3 young kids. One was a newborn. I had no money to buy leads. We sold our big house. We sold our nice cars. We were living in this tiny house. I was driving a used Honda Odyssey minivan that the brakes were so loud. I was rolling up to showings and I would park down the street because when I would brake, it was so loud. I still kept posting. You can't be fully present with your family and build a business at the same time. It's not possible. Like, you have to sacrifice. 87% of realtors fail within the first 2 years. Like, that could have been me, right?
Why would you tell an agent to never say, "Welcome to 123 Main Street"?
Well, it's really the worst way to start a listing video because the average human attention span is only 5 seconds. So you have to capture attention fast. Nobody cares about the address. Why would you stop to listen to that? You have to start with a captivating hook, and it's not easy, right? It takes additional work. But if your seller hired you to sell their biggest asset, you can't take shortcuts. And saying "Welcome to 123 Main Street" or saying your name, that's a shortcut.
In the real estate community, every single agent out there say the same thing. They're copying each other.
I think I know why. Our team, I'm proud to lead one of the top teams in my market. We'll sell well over 200 homes this year.
Wow.
We have weeks where we list 20 homes, and every home gets a professional video because we believe our sellers deserve that. There's no better way to market a home than through a captivating video. And I know personally how difficult it is to come up with the scripts. We're pulled in so many different directions as agents, and we could have very well intentions to like sit down and write a script, but I know, my videographers know, I'm rolling up to the listing shoot, dealing with low appraisals, negotiations. Like, sometimes I just really didn't even have time to sit down and write the script. But it's easy to just stand and say "Welcome to 123 Main Street," but the easy way is also the shortcut way.
Yeah, do you usually use script your videos, or your videographers help you?
Yeah, it's really a mix of both. Oh. It's so difficult, right? Like when you're listing multiple homes a week and not every home is a beautiful $5 million estate. What if you're listing, we shot a $395,000 home the other day. So we started the video with, wait, am I dreaming? A home with paid off solar, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths with community amenities for under $400,000. That is going to stop the scroll where people are like, let me watch this. But it's a very traditional home. Like, there's nothing show-stopping about it. It's easy to shoot a beautiful luxury $20 million home, but what if it's just your basic home? You got to keep it different.
I think that a lot of agents, they think it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, but the commission that I'm going to get, I'm going to need to put a lot of money, the marketing. Is it really worth it to shoot the videos? Why do you think that you should shoot every single property, do an incredible video, and really try to catch attention?
I started my career in new home sales, left new home sales in 2015. And when I was selling new homes, I could only sell for the builder. And what frustrated me so much about the agent community is they were all doing the same thing. They were putting a sign in the yard, taking some photos, throwing the home up on MLS. And I was watching as an outsider, looking in, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So in 2015, I made this crazy commitment to myself. I don't even know why, because nobody was doing video, but I said, I'm going to shoot a listing video for every home I list. My first videos were horrible. I cringe. I can't watch them. I've deleted a lot of them. I won't even tell you how you could actually find them online because I don't want anyone to watch them. But I made this commitment even when people weren't watching my videos. They're getting 5 views, but something told me, my faith is really important to me. I think it was God. Like, Shannon, keep it up. I didn't have money to pay my videographer. I had to have to pay my videographer on a credit card, but I just kept doing it. And I also kept consistently posting on social media. And here I am today leading one of the top teams in my market, and we're now known as having one of the best listing marketing plans in the entire industry. I speak on national stages. I've been on incredible podcasts. Like, it's such an incredible platform I've been given, but it wasn't easy because I shot videos for years that nobody was watching.
And why you just kept going?
Yeah, I just kept going because I knew watching a well-produced video of a property was such a different experience than looking at photos. I knew that like a photo can't tell the story of the home. A photo can't show what the neighborhood's like, what the town's like. People don't really like reading descriptions, so why not put together a captivating video? Our sellers deserve this, right? Like, we sit at dining room tables with sellers and sellers are in tears crying. Nobody wants to sell their home right now. Every single person that has their home on the market right now is because they have to sell. They maybe got a job relocation, or they need to downsize, or they're going through a divorce, or they had a death in the family. Like, they have to sell. There's 55,000 licensed realtors in my market. They picked us to sell their home. We can't take a shortcut. And if we say, oh no, your home doesn't get a video, that's not fair to them. We listed an acre of land yesterday. It's $140,000. That acre of land has its own listing video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you feel like it's a disservice that agents are doing by not posting content, by not showing the property in the best way possible?
100%. To me, not doing a listing video is equivalent to shooting your listing with your iPhone. Yeah.
A lot of agents do that, honestly. Even luxury properties.
I know. I mean, most agents are hiring a professional photographer. Like, an agent watching this or listening could think, oh, I would never not use a professional photographer on my listing. Well, that feeling they have about photography, that's my feeling I have towards videography. For you to say, like for me to say, I would never list a home without a professional video. And that is 100% true. And there are listings we have right now. We have a manufactured home right now that's $42,000. We invested more into the marketing of this home than we're even going to make.
Wow.
We're literally paying the seller to list their home. But you know what? It all comes around, and our sellers deserve it. It's not always about a huge profit. Some of our business decisions with our marketing budget don't really make sense to most people, but it does to us.
Yeah, a lot of agents just say, I don't have the marketing budget, right?
In real estate, it's risky because we don't get paid until the home closes. So every dollar you pay out of pocket, you don't know if you're ever going to see that again. And over 50% of real estate agents have sold less than 2 homes this year. A lot of agents, they mean well, but they don't have the money. Just like me, when I was starting out, like I had to take that risk and pay my videographer on a credit card. I didn't have the money, but I knew it was important. I knew it was going to work out. And for the agent that can't afford to market their listing, I highly encourage them, team up with another agent in your market or at your brokerage, co-list the property with someone else. Don't take shortcuts because you can't afford it. Bring in someone else. It's the right thing to do. I list a lot of homes, and I'm still shooting at listings that aren't mine. It's interesting though. So you're, of course, in town. You're, known as like one of the best videographers in the industry. You have an incredible Instagram presence, and we are shooting a property together later today. And I wanted something fresh, something that we haven't shot, something that's not our listing. So I pulled up some of the most luxurious properties in the state of Arizona, and I reached out to multiple agents and said, we have one of the best videographers in town. We can get your listing. I mean, the reel we shoot today, I won't be surprised if it has over 100,000 views. Yeah. And I said, we want to come shoot your listing for free and get your listing in front of the country, the world. Nobody responded to me.
Wow.
And I was talking to an agent about that, and they're like, Shannon, they're intimidated by you, right? Like their reel only had 100 views. They may think it can make them look bad, but yet they actually look like a hero. Like, hey, seller, I'm bringing in an incredible videographer and an agent that has a big Instagram following to shoot your home to get more exposure. What I want to know is, did they ever ask the seller? Did they ask the seller, hey, we could bring this exposure to your property? I bet they never asked. They just said, no, you can't come to my listing. So I'm all about collaboration, helping each other out, like playing nice in the sandbox. I can't believe the agents that are rude or try to make enemies. Like, let's be nice to each other. There's enough real estate out there for everyone. Like, I don't consider anyone like competition. Like, be nice to each other, because you never know the day you're going to have an offer on their listing, right? And if you have a bad reputation, why would they want to encourage their seller to accept your offer?
Like, you have a huge platform, you as well. Like, imagine posting a video, the video we're going to create today, and you being able to bring a buyer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's kind of being a little selfish, right, from the agent.
Yeah. No, I just want to know, like, did you ask the seller? Because if you asked the seller and they didn't want to shoot, sure, that's fine. But like, are you don't want us to come into the listing, get that crazy exposure? I mean, it's such a blessing to have the platform that I have, because we can provide such an incredible experience for our sellers, and we are selling our listings on social media. we listed a $5 million home, and within 24 hours of the listing going live on Instagram, on the Instagram reel, we got a showing from a Scottsdale agent that wouldn't have seen the home because it was outside of her market. Like, social media is powerful, video is powerful, and if agents are listing homes without it, they're really missing the mark. Like, it's not going away. It's such a disservice to sellers, I believe.
Why do you think the agents believe that you can also sell a property through Instagram, you know?
Because they haven't seen it themselves. And I think a lot of agents want overnight success, just like they want to spend a day cold calling and sell 100 homes. Instagram, social media, YouTube, it takes a long time to build a following. It can take 6 months of posting every single day until you get your first call. But me, I don't have to door knock. I don't have to cold call. I don't have to do anything, buy leads. Every day I have somebody reaching out asking if I will be their realtor. Like, the leads just flow in, but it's not easy to build that following.
Now you have a huge platform. When did you actually start seeing results?
In 2015, when I had just left my successful new home sales career, I was one of the top new home sales consultants in the country, but I never saw my family. I would drive to work crying. I left that corporate lifestyle to start fresh in real estate. And it was so scary because I knew over 87% of agents fail within their first 2 years, but I decided to take the leap. And I focused on 2 things: listing video marketing, building the best listing marketing plan that I could, and posting on Instagram. It took 6 months, a year. I mean, this was before Instagram Reels. You could build that a lot faster nowadays. But really the secret to that is I committed to posting 5 stories a day. People don't talk enough about the stories. I think the public is curious about behind the scenes of your life, right? Like, yeah, like what's going on in your life. Like, I thought it was weird. Why would somebody want to see behind the scenes of my breakfast or like weird things like that? But people love it, right? People are going to Instagram to escape reality instead of watching TV. You have to entertain your audience. You can't just constantly sell to them. I like to think of it as like, let's say you're following a car salesman and all that car salesman does is post their cars for sale. Why would you want to follow that? But imagine if that car salesman built a personal brand and let you in on his daily life and like the fun behind the scenes of selling cars, and you'd like be entertained and want to watch it. And then next time you're buying a car or your friend's buying a car, you'd be like, call up Bob. Like, you feel like you know him, right? The know, like, and trust. And it's so powerful, but it takes time.
Yeah. When it comes to stories, you know, what is the balance between showing real estate, showing your personal life? Because I see you show your family all the time, you know, you show your boys, you show your husband, you know. What is the perfect balance? Or is there even a balance?
I think every day I wake up with the goal to post 5 stories. Every day is different. You can't have the same stories every day, but I want to show who I am besides my job. And I think people can write down 2 to 3 things that make them besides their job. So many people get caught up on posting way too much work. Everyone has a personal brand, even if you don't have kids. Like, you might have a dog, or maybe you like to hike. Like, show people what makes you besides your job, and you will attract the tribe that wants to work with you. So my family didn't like it at first. They're like, why do you have your phone out all the time? But now they love it, honestly, because we built such an incredible life. Like, my family, we get to travel the world. We have, you know, beautiful homes. Like, we wouldn't have that without Instagram. We literally wouldn't. I owe so much of my success to social media and video. I'd hate to think where I would be without that. I'm sure I'd be struggling for sales, but yeah, it's such a powerful platform, but you have to let people in on your daily life.
Yeah. I mean, you just mentioned about your family, right? Like, I saw the video that was so funny. Like, one of your boys was like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm working. And you're using your phone. How do you manage to spend time? Do you believe, first of all, in work-life balance? Because like, every time I go on social media, I see you. It doesn't matter what time of the day. I see your stories, I see your reels, and you're still with your family, you know, you're traveling with them. And sometimes I see you at 10 p.m. That's my, you know, just left my last showing. You're doing so many things throughout the day. How can you manage all of that?
Well, it's not easy. I'm not an expert in work-life balance at all, but I do have a few tips because it is very difficult being a working mom, no matter what industry you're in. Like, you're leaving your family, you're leaving your kids, you're missing out on important things. But one thing that I did over the past few years is I hired a real estate coach who could really look inside my business from an outsider and see the gaps. And one thing she saw is I didn't really realize what my hourly rate was. I was raised by a single mom. Like, I didn't have a lot growing up. And I like to say my toxic trait is I can do it myself. Like, I can get up at 4 a.m., make my own YouTube thumbnail. I can make my own listing website. Like, I can do it myself. And my coach is like, Shannon, you have to stop saying you can do it yourself. It doesn't make sense. Look at your hourly rate. You need to hire a virtual assistant. You need help. I don't like asking for help, but getting that virtual assistant, you know, little things like hiring a house cleaner. And even, this sounds goofy, but even hiring, like, I have a membership at a blow dry bar where they do my hair for me, because my hair could take an hour to do.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and work while somebody else does my hair, right? Like, it's using your time wisely, but you can't do that day one. I couldn't hire a house cleaner day one, but it gives you buy your time back. So then you can use that time with your family instead. I have to live by my calendar. I have to schedule my family in my calendar. So every Friday night, no matter what, we have Friday night family night. It's something we all look forward to each week. We switch off on who's going to plan what, and it's just on our calendar. And we bring my social media following along, and people will ask me, like, what are you doing this week for Friday night family night? Like, it's inspired other families, like, okay, let's do this, right? Because if you are busy and you don't plan in like date night with your spouse or family night, or even like one-on-one time with your kids individually, your schedule will just fill up. And a month will go by, you'll be like, I haven't even been on a date with my spouse this month, right? Like, you have to schedule it in. And what I tell real estate agents is you have to think of that Friday night family night as a $4 million listing presentation. You wouldn't cancel that listing presentation if something weird came up, and you shouldn't cancel your family either. So that's kind of one thing that, you know, has helped me. We also really try to travel a lot anytime my kids are out of school. Because I work 7 days a week. This job does not stop. My phone rings and dings all day long. And it can be overwhelming. So we always will have a trip on the horizon. It just helps me, like, okay, I only have like 2 more weeks of this 7 day a week grind.
I want to ask you this. If you lost your social media, right, your followers, let's say you're starting from the beginning, you know, no reputation, no followers, no connections, what would you do today?
If I was starting from scratch, let's say I moved to a new market, I would commit to posting 5 stories a day. I would go to other agents' listings, film there, go to new builds, film content, do green screens with, maybe a beautiful home in the background, post consistently. And right now with just reels and things like that, like, it wouldn't take long. Like, you could post consistently for 3 months and probably start to see success. I would also host as many open houses as I could and just get in front of people and realize you're not going to see an overnight success. So commit to posting for 3-6 months. You're going to see the results, but nobody can make it that far because you don't get any results right away and you only have 2 views. So why keep posting when only I have 2 views? Well, we all start at 0. Yeah. Every single person started their Instagram with 0, and you get to decide where it takes you. And it comes down to your work ethic, your discipline, and your consistency. And stop having the excuses of why social media is not for you. Anybody can make social media work. You just have to be consistent.
You know, like, when you start posting and you put a lot of work into your videos, right? You spend time, you know, like, pay for editor or videographer, and you don't see the results. You get a few views. How can you still be inspired when you start comparing yourself, especially to other influencers or other realtors who are getting millions of views, selling properties through social media? How can you still, like, get inspired to keep going?
People probably are surprised that I still post reels and I cringe, and sometimes I delete them and I'm like, oh shoot. And sometimes I get caught up in my head, like, oh, this one only has 3,000 views. This one's not doing good. But that's 3,000 people. Or like, say your reel only has 200 views. Who are we to say it's only 200 views? It's only 3,000 views. I went to the Morgan Wallen concert a few months ago, and I think the audience had, like, I'm just guessing here, I think the concert audience was 60,000 people. And we were sitting below, and it was like a song with all the lights were down, and I got my phone out and I filmed, and I go, this is what 60,000 people looks like. And I was like, my reels can get in front of this many people. And it was so powerful. I was just sitting there like, man, social media is powerful. But not every reel has 60,000 views, and some don't do well, but you have to keep going. And even like the hyper local content I try to do a lot of, you're not going to get a ton of views on that. It's not a national reel, right? But 100 people see it that live in your town. That's 100 people. Imagine standing on stage speaking to 100 people.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, like you can definitely find potential clients there. And some people can think, it's easy for you because you have all these followers. Of course, you're going to be getting leads through social media. But when did you start getting actually real leads and selling properties? How many followers you had at the time? How many views you're getting?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say it was really a year of just posting consistently. Back then, it was 2015. I was really using Facebook a lot. I was building my Instagram, seeing no results over there. But Facebook, I was posting my listing videos. And I'll never forget my first call, my first inbound call. I mean, you have to keep in mind, like, I had 3 young kids. One was a newborn. I had no money to buy leads. We sold our big house. We sold our nice cars. We were living in this tiny house. I was driving a used Honda Odyssey minivan that the brakes were so loud. I don't know if you've ever not been able to afford to change your brake pads, but I was rolling up to showings and I would park down the street because when I would brake, it was so loud. Like, they're never going to want to work with me. And I'd roll up in my used Honda Odyssey minivan, screech on the brakes, and I still kept posting. But I remember one day I got a call and they're like, Shannon, will you list my house? And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know who you are. But they felt like they knew me because they followed me on social media. And those calls just kept coming and coming, and they still do today. And I show up to the listing presentation and people say, wow, you're so much taller in person, right? I get that a lot. And that's such a compliment because that means, like, man, they truly feel like they know me, but they've never met me in person.
How can you have your own authentic voice and show your personality and attract the people that you want to?
It's not as easy as it looks, right? People probably think, oh, Shannon just gets in front of the camera and just starts talking. Like, I have to spend time researching reels. So obviously, like, I spend a lot of time on Instagram scrolling through. I'll save things, not to copy. I won't copy you, but I will use it as inspiration. And I spend intentional time writing scripts. A lot of my head talking videos, I'm reading from a teleprompter, and it's because I have to save time. I'm very busy. We sell over 200 homes a year. I lead a team. My husband and I have a nonprofit. I'm a keynote speaker around the country. I'm traveling. I traveled every single week for 6 weeks, I'm just like on a break from that. I'm very busy. So I write out my scripts. I stand there. I read from a teleprompter. It saves time. But one thing I've noticed lately is when you're not looking into the camera and you're kind of looking off and acting like you're talking to someone, those are getting more engagement because I think people are really curious about, like, inside people's lives. And if you're scrolling through Instagram and you're like, oh, who's Shannon talking to? Like, I'm going to listen in on this versus like talking into the camera, I think is really powerful. But honestly, I can't take credit for it. I truly think it's from God, like the creativity of just like, I'll just have an idea. Like yesterday I had this idea of just like just talk in your camera and post it as a reel. And last time I checked, I think it has like 15,000 views. And like, I truly believe God's given me this platform for a purpose to help clients, of course, achieve their real estate goals, but hopefully be a positive light in a very dark industry.
You believe in God and you share this a lot. You show your family. And a lot of times people can feel afraid of sharing their opinions and core values. How can an agent be able to break through this type of mindset and just, if that's what they believe, that's what they want to show, just start showing?
I think a lot of real estate agents want to be for everyone. They want to just post generic content because if you lean into your personal brand, it's scary, right? Because, for example, I'm a working mom. So if I post that I'm at my son's football game on Saturday afternoon and my seller sees that, you can automatically feel weak, like, shoot. And I hear this even from my teammates. They'll like not post their life because they don't want their clients to see.
Like you're not working enough.
Yes, like we're a robot. We should work every day, all day, which we do. But like we have to be human. You don't want us to go to our son's football game. Like So it's tough, like sharing your personal life, because especially like we have over 40 active listings right now.
Yeah.
Almost every one of those sellers follows me on Instagram. So if they're stressed out, right? Because remember, nobody sells for fun. They're stressed out. They want their home sold, and Shannon's over just hanging out on a Saturday, right? But I think if you truly know your personal brand by really writing down 2 to 3 things that make you besides your job, and just post about them, you're going to attract your tribe. If you try to be for everybody, you're going to be for nobody. Like nobody's going to be like attracted to that. The agent that tries to be for everyone is the agent that posts just sold, just listed, just sold, just listed. Why would anyone call you to list their home? They don't know you.
Yeah.
People want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And I think now more than ever, the agent with the best personal brand, or even the videographer with the best personal brand, is going to win the business.
What do you think that the future is going to be like when it comes to having a personal brand as an agent?
I think agents that are not on social media, not doing video, are going to be really surprised over the next few years when their past clients are now using Instagram influencer agents instead of them, right? Because sellers want that exposure. Gone are the days when you can just put a sign in the yard, take some photos, and throw the home up on MLS. There's way too much noise out there of agents doing more for their clients. People aren't going to want to hire you and pay you a lot of money and trust you with their biggest asset if you're taking shortcuts. So video should definitely be a non-negotiable, and your brand on social media, because people are Googling you, right? So I give out a lot of agent referrals to agents in other states. I will not give you a referral if your Instagram looks like you haven't posted in 6 months. That's the first thing I do is I Google you. I look at your Instagram, like all this, because my clients are trusting me with the referral I'm giving you. And I want to feel like I know you. Like, what are you like? Just like if you were hiring someone for a job for your team, you're going to look at their social media. Are they out partying on Saturday night? Like, you're not going to want to hire them, right? So people are Googling you more than you think. And they're not calling you because you don't have anything. And what do people find when they Google you? And we love our clients. We do client appreciation events every single month. I also think if you're not doing anything for your clients after they close, that's another really big missed opportunity. Like, people should be able to see everything when they're researching you. Everyone is like a little CIA agent these days. We've all gone to Facebook and like scrolled through people's posts years ago. And then have you ever had that feeling where you like think you accidentally liked a post from 2 years ago, and your heart starts pounding and you're like, oh my gosh, could you imagine if they saw that? We all like Google you, like we all look. So what do people find? You should have a presence.
What do you think that like agents are doing wrong when it comes to, because a lot of agents are trying to build a personal brand, but what do you think that they're doing wrong most of the times?
Well, the obvious. I mean, I don't even feel like it's worth talking about because it's so obvious. Not showing their face enough, not getting on camera enough. Like, as a real estate agent, you're a small business owner. Like, you have to invest in your business. You have to team up with a good videographer in your market and get professional content out there. Like, maybe once a month you book a 2-hour time slot and just film a bunch of reels and batch film. I do that every other week, so I always have content. Commit to filming listing videos for every home you list. And here's one thing that I started doing a few years ago that has been a complete game changer. Like, this has been a game changer when it comes to listing marketing. I used to just talk about the house on my listing video, right? Like, let's say you're posting just a very basic home in a master plan community. It's not a beautiful mansion. Once that home closes, that listing video is dead. So what I started doing is, like, when I write my scripts for my listing video, is asking, how can I create a video script where this video will live on YouTube for 5 years, 10 years, where I can still get calls 2 years from now? And the secret to that is sharing the lifestyle first. What's the town like? What's the neighborhood like? What are the amenities like? So if I film a video in a master plan community, half the video may be about the amenities, the community pool, the parks, and then how you tag your videos. If somebody is researching best neighborhoods to live in Queen Creek, Arizona, or they're researching that neighborhood, because everyone does. Everyone goes to YouTube. Do you know over 50% of buyers start their search on YouTube? People are using YouTube. So you can actually take your listing video and make it relevant, right? Like, I get leads from listing videos that are years old because we talk about the neighborhood. If you're just like, here's welcome to this house, it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Nobody wants to watch it, and it's never going to be relevant again unless someone wants to watch a boring video, I guess.
And like when it comes to social media, are you posting all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok?
That's a good question. And what I've learned is it's really easy to like want to do everything. I go to real estate conferences and I take all the notes and I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. You have to just slow down and focus on 2 to 3 things.
Okay.
I would love nothing more than to build an incredible TikTok following or an incredible LinkedIn following and even Facebook, right? But for me, what's easiest is to focus on YouTube and Instagram. I do post, actually like my VA will help like post it over to TikTok, post it over to Google Business. So there's content out there. But for me, I can't go all in on all these platforms. I have to pick 2 and just stay consistent with those. It's the same in any area in real estate. You can be successful in so many ways in real estate. You just have to be consistent. So if you wanted to be the best cold caller in your market and you dedicated 5 hours a day to cold calling, you are going to be successful. You are going to sell homes. And the work you do today, you may not see the results for several months, but you have to keep it up. And it's so I can't stand when agents say this. They say, I'm so slow. I don't have any clients. Oh, really?
What are you even doing?
What'd you do yesterday? Like, seriously, show me your schedule. Oh, I called 5 people. Okay. Like, don't complain you have no clients. There are so many clients out there. Go host an open house every day. Go film videos with your videographer. Like, don't complain you don't have any clients. That literally is like the worst thing you can say. I'll give an example of someone on my team, Brooke. She's an incredible agent. She has some of the best work ethic I've seen. She works so hard and I felt so bad for her last year. She is just like a crazy like cold caller. She'll do whatever, like working so hard. And she was just working like 3 months and she's like, Shannon, I'm not seeing any success from this. I might need to go get another job. And I'm like, you are amazing. Like you're going to see the success, like keep it up. Sure enough, like she's one of our top sales this year, like selling homes left and right, getting calls. It's that work she did for that 3 months when she was like, I'm not seeing any results. Like I might need to go get another job. All that work is paying off. And here's the thing, when people, they put in the work, they start to get busy and then they stop the work that was getting them the business. I get business from filming content. I am very busy. I could have every excuse in the world to not film content, to skip the listing video, to skip my batch filming day, to not post on my Instagram story. But guess what? If I went a month without posting on Instagram, like I'm not going to have that daily inbound business. So that's the key. It's like you can't stop. Like if cold calling's your thing, still do that while you're busy with clients.
You're exhausted and you still need to create content. How do you push through?
Every day I'm exhausted. I never am in the mood to film video. I always have really good excuses of why I shouldn't film video today. I feel like content creation days are like some of the most flustered, crazy days. Like you should see the behind the scenes. I should actually ask our videographer to film me walking in the studio. I'm usually like holding my laptop, my hair's a mess, I'm on the phone, I'm negotiating an appraisal, like stressed out. And there's so many days I want to just cancel. I want to just be like, I'm just going to do it next time. But you know what that's like? It's like a fitness journey, right? Oh, I'm not going to go to the gym today because I'm not in the mood, right? Like, or I ate 3 salads and I didn't see any results. I'm not going to eat healthy anymore. Like we know that doesn't make sense. It's like kind of like a fitness journey. Like you have to be consistent and disciplined. I remember one of my best performing reels has 1.7 million views. And yeah, I came from the hair salon and I had hair dye on my forehead and I didn't want to film and I didn't know what I was going to talk about. So that day I just told stories of like a story about a real estate agent that got sued. And it's one of my best performing videos, I didn't want to film video that day. Honestly, when I posted it, it was late in the day on a Friday, which usually you think you don't get much engagement on a Friday. I posted it and I was about to delete it because you could see a little hair dye on my forehead. But guess what? Most people probably don't see that hair dye or the thing that you think they see. So you just have to keep it up and it'll all work out.
Yeah, I see a lot of agents like, but I want to change this. I don't want to post the video. The video is great. And you can see that they will have engagement, they will have attention, but they just don't post it. Why do you think? Why do you think they do that?
I have a lot of videos I filmed that I've never posted. And I think we get in our own head. We think people are focusing on us more than they really are, right? Like it's better to just get the content out there because it's not so much about what the content is. It's about people seeing your face. Like you're planting the seed. Even if you're just posting behind the scenes, putting open house signs out on a Saturday, like you're showing people that, wow, you're working on a Saturday. Like you're showing them that you work hard. And then when it's time for them to buy or sell, they're going to think of you, right? So like you just have to post it. But I need to take my own advice because I filmed a lot of things I don't post too.
And how many pieces of content do you post per day, every day?
Well, I commit to 5 stories a day. And as far as the feed posts, it just really depends. Some days it could be 0. Some days it could be 3. I also like have always run my own social media. I respond to every DM personally.
So you don't have like a VA responding to you?
Well, remember my toxic trait is I can do it myself. So I have a hard time like trusting people. I don't think I'll ever let anyone. I think that's weird, like responding, like acting like you're me responding in a DM. But that's like a whole nother full-time job too, right? Because you also have to engage with your followers and community on Instagram. You can't just post and leave.
What about the responsibility now? Because now you have a lot of followers and a lot of people that look up to you. How do you make sure that you still take care of them?
Well, one thing that I get a lot, and you probably can relate to this, is, can I pick your brain? Can we go to coffee? But in my heart, like I want to do it. I want to say yes. I want to be like, yes, let's just go. Like, but when I say yes to you, so you can pick my brain, I'm saying no to time with my family. I'm saying no to one-on-one time with my teammates. I'm saying no to other things that are important in my life. And I feel so bad. Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing to have the following, but it is a big responsibility.
Yeah, pretty much I feel the same way. I think the same thing. Like I want to spend time with my wife, even though you want to do it. But it's still, some people can think that, oh, she's not humble.
Well, what I try to do is I give back to the real estate community in other ways. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm speaking in front of 25,000 people on a webinar in a few weeks. Like I've been on stage at Tom Ferry Summit, which is one of the biggest real estate events in the industry. Here's a little tip. If you want to sit down and pick somebody's brain, instead go to your podcast app and Google their name. Like you will find dozens and dozens of podcasts that I've been on that I volunteer my time, and that's to give back to the real estate community. I'm sharing my playbooks. I'm sharing my secrets. Like listen to podcasts, go to YouTube, find things on there. And if you want to sit down and pick someone's brain, like
have something to
offer some value or offer to pay them for their time. Like my time is very valuable. I can't just sit with you for an hour for free, right?
I saw you on Tom Ferry's, seminar event. And I remember like you're posting some stories. I'm so nervous, How did that feel? Because now it seems like you're so natural on camera, you're not afraid anymore of speaking to people, and still you're posting some stories saying that you're a little nervous,
Everything we do in business for the first time, we're nervous. We're not pros. I don't think there's ever been anyone in history that filmed their first video and it was just perfect, right? Like even the best actors in Hollywood, like they started somewhere too. So people have to realize my first videos were horrible. Like this, like natural camera ability comes with years and years of experience and taking that risk and being uncomfortable and being cringy and posting the content, even though I don't want to post it, and posting the content and only getting 2 views. So you have to start somewhere and you'll get better with time. Just like your first showing as a real estate agent, you were probably really nervous, but now you're super confident.
Besides social media, what else do you do to be ahead of most realtors?
Personal development is really important to me. I believe everybody should have a coach. I still listen to podcasts. I still watch YouTube videos. I still go to real estate conferences. I still take notes. I still learn, because although I built a very successful real estate company, you can't stop. And I see a lot of agents just stop. Like they've built something great, but they don't take anything else on. They don't build their Instagram. They don't do listing videos. They're just like, oh, this has worked for me. I'm fine. I don't need to do anything else. So I am obsessed with learning, implementing. I have this desire to be the best. Like I want to attract business because potential clients truly believe that we can do the best job for them. We can have the best marketing. I never want anyone to hire me out of obligation. Like, oh, we're childhood friends. You have to use me as your agent. Like, don't hire me if you feel like you have to use me. Hire me because you feel like we can offer the best. And you only can be the best by keeping up to date on the current trends and learning, listening to podcasts. I don't watch any TV. I don't waste my time. Like, when people ask me, like, have you seen that latest TV show? I'm like, when do you have time to watch that? Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on that. But man, I just couldn't imagine sitting on the couch watching TV for 2 hours when you could spend that time with your family or listen to a podcast and learn. Sometimes my desire to be the best and learn is a little like obsessive, I guess. Like maybe I need to calm down and like actually take some breaks.
Where do you think that this desire of wanting to be the best come from?
I truly care about my clients. Like I've said, like I've sat in a room with my clients and they're in tears looking me in the eyes. Like we take over a lot of listings that have been sitting on the market with other agents. I sit down with sellers and we have to come in and clean up the mess, right? Because they didn't have a sign in the yard. They didn't have any marketing going. And I look my clients in their eyes and they're like, Shannon, we hired our cousin who just got their license because we didn't want to hurt his feelings. And we regret it. And I see that pain of, this is not a joke. This is like their biggest asset. This is a lot of money. And if you're not taking that serious, right? Like wanting to implement the latest and greatest, like the best scripts, like what can I do with my videos to get a few more thousand views? Like there's so much power in that. And I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by truly, like I guess I'm a people pleaser. I want to do the best for my clients. We've only ever received a 5-star review. Like I don't want to let my clients down, and it's a lot of pressure when they trust you with their biggest asset. I also know that the platform that I have and the business I've built, like we're able to do so much good in our communities. We have our own nonprofit. We give back to kids living in foster care. We highlight small businesses on a TV show that I'm on that airs on HGTV. Like we're able to give back. Like that's what motivates me, is like doing the best for my clients and being able to be a light in our community and make a difference.
When it comes to your background, like did you came from money?
I was raised by a single mom. We didn't have a lot. We lived in an apartment for many years. Like I know what it's like to Christmas morning. I'll never forget. I still have my stocking. My mom got me high C Ghostbuster juice boxes for Christmas. And I was so excited because all the kids at lunch had like these cool juice boxes and I didn't have any of that. And I'll never forget those juice boxes. Like that's what I got for Christmas. And I was so excited because I felt like I could finally fit in with the kids. So like I know what it's like to grow up without a lot. And like I want to use my platform and my business for good, right? Like we have a beautiful office building. Like we've hosted prom for teenage girls living in foster care. We're about to take 400 kids living in foster care group homes shopping at Walmart in 2 weeks. Like we want to give back. We want to make a difference. And this business allows us to be able to do that.
Yeah, how do you feel when you see all the kids so happy?
Yeah, so we this will be our 6th year taking hundreds of kids shopping for Christmas, and it's an eye-opener. I'll never forget our first Christmas shopping spree with the kids living in foster care through our nonprofit. I got this little 7-year-old girl, and we're at Walmart, and I told her, you can get anything you want. What do you want to get? And I have my own kids, so I'm thinking she wants to go get a Barbie or toy. She looked up at me and she goes, can we get milk? And can we get like a frozen lunchbox? She wanted a lunchbox.
Wow.
I was like, that's so sweet. Like we gave $100 shopping spree. And like, she'll probably remember that her whole life, right? Like we have to be doing more in our communities. And one thing real estate agents can do is just ask your local school, what do you need? How can I help? We've done that at our local schools. And they're like, is there any way you'd host donuts with grownups? Like we don't have the budget for it. And we just did that last week. Like we bought 75 dozen donuts and coffee and hosted all the families, right? So we're giving back to the community, but we're also getting our brand out there as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting because you're definitely getting our brand out there. But I can see that you don't have to do that, you know? Like your brand is already huge. You don't need to be doing all those things.
It's where our whole team is at. It's a huge core value of ours is just giving back. And we really feel like our job as real estate agents is almost a form of ministry, right? Like making sure that this is one of the most stressful things you ever do is buy or sell a home, like making sure it's as stress-free as possible, that we're not cutting any corners, that we're being honest, that we're saying your goals become our goals, like getting you to closing day. And that's why I've been so intentional to build my team with very top talent. We're a team of 12. I could have a team of 100 if I wanted, but we're very intentional with who we bring on the team because I want to make sure without a doubt that I could trust any one of my clients with one of my teammates. Yeah. We don't hire just anyone with a real estate license.
I bet there are a lot of people reaching out to you every single day to be part of your team, right?
Every day. For every one person we bring on our team, we probably have 50 applicants.
Well, what it takes to be part of your team?
You have to have our core values. You have to care about clients more than your commission check. Okay. You have to do what's right.
And when did you start building your team?
I never wanted a team. I never wanted to be a team leader, but building my team came out of necessity because I was receiving so many inbound leads from Instagram and YouTube. I couldn't handle them all myself. Even though I like to say I like to do everything myself, I was all things to all people. Every home inspection, every showing, every call, everything. I didn't have any help. And that's oftentimes how you have to start. You have to start with that grind. But there became a point in time where my coach really helped me realize this. She's like, Shannon, you doing this by yourself, like your clients are going to suffer, right? Mm-hmm. Like me thinking about my client first. If I'm just trying to be like, oh, I can do this all myself, like things are going to slip through the cracks. So I slowly started bringing teammates on just completely out of necessity.
Mm-hmm. It's a big responsibility. They're looking up to you, How did that feel in the beginning?
It was very, very hard because nobody really understands, unless you are super close to me, what kind of sacrifice it took to get where I am. Like it may look easy, oh, Shannon just gets on camera. You have no idea. Like remember the Honda Odyssey brakes and all the things. Like I don't want to start crying, but it's a lot of sacrifice, right? I've never cried on a podcast before, man.
Yeah, like you have been through so much, and people just maybe look at you and think she just had it easy, for her. Looking back, like are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. Well, 87% of realtors fail within the first 2 years. Like that could have been me, right? But yeah, it's not easy. So anyways, are those the end of the questions? Now I'm like a disaster.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that'll be a good clip. It's not easy. It looks easy on Instagram. Yeah. It looks fun to look at homes all day, but it's not what we do.
Yeah. All the sacrifices.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that you didn't watch you wouldn't even be able to go to your kids, games. And that was one of the motivations for you, right?
Yeah. You miss out because you can't be fully present with your family and build a business at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's not possible. Like you have to sacrifice. You have to miss out on the TV shows and all of that. Like so.
It takes a lot to get to this point. It's not overnight success. You had to sacrifice a lot. Yeah. And you still do, and you still work a lot. When people see from outside, they think it's easy, but it's not,
Yeah. I was very successful in new home sales. Like we bought a big house, we had beautiful cars, but I realized I was working to pay for material things and missing out on my son's first steps and my family and my husband and I didn't have days off together. And one day I was like, I don't even care if we move to an apartment or like what is the point of having this big house if I'm working all the time? So we sold everything and we bought this little tiny house. We still own it today. We rent it out and we drove used cars but those were like the best years, right? And we built everything from the ground up. And now, obviously we own multiple homes and like beautiful home and all that and nice cars, but
yeah. Well, like it's even crazy to think about it. Like you had it all and then you decide to just let it go and
because it doesn't matter, right? Like I was driving to work crying to pay for a big house. Like what's the point of that?
Yeah.
And that's why some of our sellers look at us in tears. They're like, I need to sell my house so I can downsize and like be able to see my family more. Mm-hmm. Or I need to sell my house because my grandkids moved and I want to be closer to family. Like it's a really big deal of everything, all the things we do.
Yeah. I always like to ask this question. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Well, I really want to make a difference in the community, but I also want to, I have 3 boys. Like, I want to raise really good kids that make a difference in the world, but we all can make a difference in our communities. No matter what you do for a living, like, you can make a difference. Like, you could come volunteer with us at our nonprofit and help kids in foster care shop for Christmas presents.
If anybody wants to help, how can they help you guys?
Yeah, so our website's purpose-movement.com for our nonprofit.